Friday, maayong hapon na imbag nga aldaw makasta nga umma. Ngayon tayo na naman ay papalaot sa nagbabalitaktakan, kahusayan at higit sa lahat, tayo ay lalangoy na naman sa bagong karunungan na ating matatalakay ngayong hapong ito. At kung handa na kayo, ayan, tignan nga natin kung alam nyo pa yung mga napag-aralan natin nung nakaraang talakayan. Yes, ito ay qualitative research design. At higit sa lahat, alam natin na tayo ay nakapag-aral sa 5 major design. Ito yung historical, phenomenology, grounded theory, at iba pa. At kung handang-handa na kayo sa ating pag-aaralan, tayo na at papalaot sa ating talakayan. Ayan, tignan natin kung ano ang ating pag-aaralan ngayong week na to. Ang ating pag-aaralan mula sa week na to ay tinatawag nating sampling procedure and sample. At bago tayo magsimula, kumuha na ng inyong mga tubig, pagkain at unat-unat tayo para sa pagsusulat ng ating ikatlong burador ay maayos. Ako ang iyong abang lingkod, Tutor JJ Ramos. Ayan, para sa ating most essential learning competency o objectives ngayong hapong ito ay describe sampling procedure and sample. Ayan, handang-handa na sila. At para sa ating learning task 1, ayan, meron tayong panuto. Unlock the key terms based on the main ideas provided. And of course, write the answer on your learning activity sheet or module. O kung sobra na yung sagot ninyo doon sa inyong module, maaari kayong kumuha ng inyong mga notebook. Ayan, sa mga nanonood sa atin sa ICT, Sports, ABM, UMS, TVL at GAS, tayo na't matuto para sa unang katanungan. Ayan, it refers to a portion or part of the population that is representative of the population. Ano kaya ang tamang sagot dito? Ayun, ang tamang sagot ay sample. Halimbawa, yung nasabi natin noon sa Pansit Kabagan at sa mga nag-aaral o nagre-research sa Samgyupsal. Lahat ba ng respondent o kumakain sa buong Pilipinas kukunan nyo? Ang tawag doon ay population. Pero kapag kumuha ka lamang ng portion nito, ang tawag naman doon ay sample. Kaya magaling sa mga nakakuha ng tamang sagot sa inyong module. Tignan nga natin ang pangalawang katanungan. Sabi dito, it refers to your method or process of selecting respondents or people to answer questions and to yield data for a research study. Meron tayong, ang kasagutan ay sampling. Kung nakuha nyo yung tamang sagot, thumbs up tayo dyan. At higit sa lahat, dapat kapag kumukuha tayo ng sampling, meron siyang dalawang uri. Ito yung tinatawag nating probability sampling at non-probability sampling. At may papaliwanag natin mamaya sa ating talakayan. At kung handang-handa na para sa pangatlong katanungan, tignan natin. Ayun, the complete group of people, animals,
or objects that have the same characteristic that the research needs.
Ano kaya ang tamang sagot? Ayun, sumagot ang ating mga STEM, ABM, UMS. At kung ang sagot ninyo ay population at nasabi na natin kanina, tama. Sir, kaya ho ba yung mga nagkumukuha ng NSA or PSA dito sa amin, ang kabuuan ba ng kanilang survey ay population? Tama. Sa kabuuan, ang Pilipinas na ngayon, pag-aaralan natin ang populasyon ay binubuo na ng 109 billion. Kaya ang dami o milyon sabihin natin, ang dami ng populasyon. Kaya napakahusay kapag gumamit tayo ng sampling and sampling procedure. Kaya tignan natin para sa pang-apat na katanungan. Okay, are individuals, tignan natin, or groups of people who actively serve as source of information during the data collection. Ano kaya ang tawag natin yung mga tao na nasa likod ng ating data na sa kanila kakapanayamin? Maaring tayo ay gumamit dito ng triangulation method, pakikipagkapwa-tao, pakikipagkwentuhan, or yung tinatawag ng metis. Ang tawag sa kanila ay, there you go, respondent o kalahok sa Filipino. Sila ang ating main source na pagkukuhanan ng data. Kaya dapat ikaw na mananaliksik ng senior high school, mautak. At kung grupo ang inyong research, dahil nga kayo ay nasa stage na ng grade 11, dapat kayo ay mahusay din sa pagpili ng inyong mga respondent mamaya na. Pero dahil nga sa ating pag-aaralan ngayon para sa ikalimang katanungan, ang sabi dito, ayan, meron siyang combination na 1 to 8, 1 to 5. The term used to mean the list of the meaning of such populations from where you will get the sample, ang tawag ay, ayan, tignan natin kung anong tamang sagot. Ang tamang sagot ay sampling frame. Okay? So, lahat ng elements sa populations in questions with this ay meron siyang ambag. Diba? Kaya ang tawag doon ay sampling frame. Mapapaliwanag natin mamaya sa ating talakayan. At kung handang-handa na kayo para sa ating talakayan at balitaktakan ngayong hapon na to, tayo na't matuto para sa ating steps in sampling. Ayan, handang-handa na sila para sa steps in sampling. At kung handa na kayo, ang una yung tinatawag nating identify the populations of interest. If you want to focus your study on the reasons why teenagers are dropping out from schools, then what will be your populations of interest? When choosing your population of interest, you should think who will be directly affected from the study and who will be potential respondents. In this case, your population of interest should be teachers and out-of-school youths. And however, it is still too broad to say that teachers and youths will be your populations because there are lots of school in our province. Dito nga sa Isabela, ang daming district. We have 46 district. And also we have different school categories, small, medium, or large. Therefore, we need to proceed to the next step. Kailangan natin mamalaman kung ano yung population of interest sapagkat nandoon yung atake o di naman kaya gagawin natin. Kung sa isang classroom gusto mo dahil mahilig kayo sa kanta ni Moira at yun yung kukunin mo, then do the netizen. Always consider visit social linguistic, applied linguistic, o di naman kaya yung punto de vista nito ay tukuyin mo kung ano talaga ang inyong mga kalahok. Consider yung interest mo. Ayan, it's very difficult to say that your population will be the teachers and out-of-school youth. Teachers from what school or out-of-school youth from what place? If we simplify say to those populations, then it will be difficult for us to identify who will be your respondent. Therefore, we need to specify who you want to include in your study. And of course, you may want to choose your sampling from frame and you are going to decide that it will be easier to gather your respondent. Listed the names of your respondent. And of course, if that is a ball or container, dapat yung frame na yon ay hindi siya lumalagpas million or billion. Okay, so tignan natin yung sampling frame na tinatawag. And kung nakuha na natin yung specificity ng sampling frame, now let's proceed to number 3, which is yung tinatawag nating specify a sampling method. If we are referring to this, there are many types of sampling method. Like for example, the quota sampling, the purposive sampling, na ma-explain natin kanina. So mamaya, titignan natin kung paano gagamitin yung mga yon. You can either choose one method to use to have a mix or two more methods. Nasabi ka natin kanina na pwede tayong gumamit ng dalawa, but always consider ang ating sitwasyon ngayong new normal that you are going to use the internet-mediated research. So ano po yung pinaka-the best na sampling in case po? Titignan natin mamaya. Wala pong pinaka-the best na sampling. Nasa atake kung paano kayo tutugma or mag-a-align ng inyong research sa inyong teammates. Yan, gagaling ng mga senior high school natin para sa pang-apat na step sa pagkuha ng sampling. Ayan, tignan natin. Determine your sample size. Tignan natin ang sample size. So, you determine your sample size depending on whether your data will reach in saturation point. Another way to choose a sample size depends on the type of approach that you are going to use for your research. It was cited from Creswell 2013 that 1 to 10 subjects are recommended for phenomenology. Brooks for 1984 stated that there should be 2 1,030 individuals for grounded theory. Chamas, 2006, indicated that there should be 4 to 5 respondents for case studies and single culture sharing group for ethnography. So kung nakita na natin kanina o mamaya sa inyong pagsusulat ng inyong unang burador, ikalawang burador, ipacheck na sa inyong advisor at tignan natin kung tumutugma ba yung nakuha nyo ng respondent sa iyong gagawing research. Dahil 2 week na lang po ay kayo ay magkakandak na kapag natapos natin itong chapter 3. At dadako naman tayo sa advantages of sampling procedure. Okay, number 1, we have the so-called makes the research of any type and size manageable. Ano yung punto de vista dito? Ikaw na researcher ng ABM, UMS, TVL, ICT, Sports, kailangan mong i-consider yung size o di naman kaya kalahok mo sapagkat kapag marami yung respondents at hindi mo control, oops, Diyos ko, ma-stress tayo sa pagsasagot. Kaya dapat maging careful tayo at aware tayo. Pangalawa, yung tinatawag nating significantly saves the cost of the research. The more respondent, the more photocopy. Sir, paano yan? Ikalawang bundok or ikatlong bundok pa kami i-interview, di mas marami kaming mga gastong pamasahe. Kaya yung sinasabi ko na always do the importance or the roles to have, okay, maging matipid. And at the same time, consider yung research mo. Ayan, ang gagaling naman nila. And yung number 3, we can call this as, okay, results in more accurate research findings. So the veracity and the authenticity of the files is there. Okay, the alignment of your title to statement of the problem, to the review of related literatures. Ang advantage ng sampling procedures, mas accurate kung tama at wasto yung sampling methods na ginamit mo. Okay? Ito ay mga akda o di naman kaya libro ni Brown 2006. So, we're going to cite him. So, tingnan natin yung pang-apat. Provides an opportunity to process the information in a more efficient way. Tinitignan natin yung mas nadadalian tayo. Tinitignan natin yung proseso ng mga impormasyon. Pinaprocess natin ito, hindi lang isa, hindi lang 2, kundi maraming oras. Kaya sa grupo ninyo, kung ikaw yung leader, kaya bigyan mo ng task ang inyong groupmates ng mas managerial time management yung gagamitin nyo to do the paper well. So, ayan yung mga advantage na. Now, let's proceed to the probability sampling methods. Kung noong, ayan, grade 10 kayo, pinag-aralan ninyo ang scientific method in your science at sa mga naka-enroll ngayon sa PSI or science classes, let's proceed now to the paper wherein you are going to use the probability sampling methods. So if we are referring to probability sampling method, this is a type wherein all the members or the entire populations has a chance to be selected. Like for example, sa inyong campus, 1,000 students, meron bang chance na makuha lahat yon? Yes. So this is also called sa mga scholars, sa mga scientists, scientific sampling ang tawag nila. So applicable ito sa quantitative research under practical research too. Sir, bakit mo pa tinuturo yan? Sa grade 12 pa namin pag-aaralan. So nasa context tayo ngayon ng pag-aaral ng research. Kaya kailangan natin itong ipaliwanag. Number 2, o di kayo ng number 1, pag-aaralan natin dito yung simple random sampling. If we are referring to simple random sampling, it is a method of choosing your sample in which all the members of the populations are given a chance to be selected. It is an biased way of selections because samples are drawn by chance. There are various ways of obtaining sample random sampling. This is aligned with the paper of Treset 1986 wherein this include Routley wheel, fishbowl method, and the use of the table or random samples. Yan. Sir, parang tumutugma sa kanina yung sinabi ninyo about sampling frame. Yes. Okay, so ang husay ninyo kung nakuha ninyo yon. At kung na-gets na po, tignan natin ang systematic random sampling naman. If we are referring to this, it is a method of selecting every 4th or 9th element. Like for example, nag-i-start tayo sa 2. 2, lahat nag-i-end po siya into TH. Okay? Halimbawa, sir, paano kapag 9 naman po yung kukunin namin? Yes, you can. Until the desired sample size is reached. Okay, so wala pong naglilimit doon sa styles o di naman kaya yung way of selecting a sample. So depende yan sa elements na gagamitin natin. If we are going to use the different demographic profiling, yes, you can. And of course, the stratified random sampling. This refers to a method or the population is divided into different strata or the so-called groups and then following the samples. Ang mahalaga dito sa strata is the so-called profiling also. You can also connect with your age, your gender, trabaho ng inyong parents, kung sino at saan yung gusto ninyo. And of course, i-consider natin din dito yung educational qualifications at yung tinatawag nating criteria. Sa cluster sampling naman po, sir, magagamit pa yan namin sa aming research. Okay, sa practical research to applicable din ito. So this is used in large-scale studies. So clusters are representative samples of the population as a whole. So after the clusters are established as simple random, we can use members as drawn in the clusters are sampled. So the sampling procedure are difficult and time-consuming. But always remember, swakto ang cluster sampling ngayong new normal. Kasi sa buong Pilipinas, ikakandak mo lahat kung sino gumagamit ng cigarettes. Oops, only the groups lang po dito sa cluster sampling. Kaya think before you click kung ano yung probability sampling na gagamitin nyo. And now, dadako na tayo sa qualitative research or the so-called non-probability sampling methods. Ikaw as a researcher ng senior high school ABM STEM youths, ano yung convenient ng paglagay mo ng mga respondent. So involve choosing a respondent at the convenience of the researcher. It also called the accidental or incidental sampling. Okay, okay lang to, pero minsan kini-question sa subjectivity part niya. Then purposive sampling involves your handpicking subject. Usually it is very specific intention. This is also called as judgmental sampling. So ito, ano yung purpose? Ano yung objective ng paper mo? Okay, at ginagamit ito. One of my student in Cabatuan studied La Nina experience. So 2017 here in Isabela, we experienced La Nina from January to almost August. Ulan ng ulan. So, ang ginamit niya purposive sampling. So, kinuha niya yung 5 na barangay and yung mga nagtatanim or farmers, yun lang po yung kinuha niya at nagkaroon sila ng semi and formal interview and properly documented. Yes. Ayun, sa quota sampling naman po, commonly done to the ensure of the inclusions of a particular segment of the populations. So maganda din ito na gamitin sapagkat hindi lang para sa iisa kundi meron tayong tinatawag dito ng inclusion ng isang particular na population or sample. So sa volunteer sampling as the talk about, okay, so involves people who self-select. Self-selection lang po to. Like for example, online survey, okay, SurveyMonkey, and different, yes. And often these folks have a strong interest in the main topic of the survey. So ito, maganda kasi you as the respondent, you can volunteer yourself to be involved in the paper. And aside from that, okay, sa mga general academic strands na nagtatanong kung ano ang alaga ng volunteer sampling, mahalaga sapagkat kung ikaw ngayon nakaranas ng ECQ, GCQ at nasa community ka lang, then mas dali yung pagkalap mo ng respondent or kalako. So, ayun, ang gagawin nila. Tignan nga natin naman sa snowball sampling, does not give a specific set of sample. This is similar to snow sampling or snowball sampling, which expanding widely or rolling rapidly. This is true for a study involving a specified group of people dealing with varied groups of people such as street children, drug dependents, gang members, informal settlers, street vendors, and the like. It's possible in these kinds of non-probability sampling. Like for example, yung estudyante ko dati, nagkandak sila ng magbabalot. Okay, so kinuha nila o naglagay sila ng documentations doon sa munisipyo ng San Mateo at kinuha nila partially yung nagbebenta ng balot mula pagising hanggang pagtulog at kinuha nila yung way of benta nila. Then after that, they do the process of coding. So, pinakamahirap sa paggawa dito ay minsan we apply the coding. Next. Okay, so sa strategies to obtain a quality sample. Ay, meron pa rin ba pala ang strategies para sa pagkuha ng sample? Yes, ginagamit natin ito. At kung saan mahusay din dapat natin itong ipaliwanag. Una, yung tinatawag nating focus on the study. So, make certain that research question is feasible and the study answers questions should be clear variables. Ano yung focus ng aming pag-aaral? Baka mamaya sa sobrang dami ng variables, oops, ang dami ng nilagay. So, kailangan nating maging focus at tignan lang natin kung ang independent, dependent at moderator variable natin ay tumutugma sa statement of the problem. Also consider your sampling procedure and sampling. Okay, or sample. So, pangalawa, yung tinatawag nating find a representative sample which determine the necessary additions and omissions criteria for the study populations that findings can exactly generalize the identify to the target group. Okay, so kailangan mong maalam. Okay? Tatlo, determine a recruitment strategy. Okay? Determine mo kung ano yung mga plano, identifications of, limbawa, study participants that may entail screening. Okay, so establishing criteria for this number or locations and sampling method is good. And for number 4, we can also learn that consult with the community to identify and recruit potential participants. Sapagkat dito, halimbawa ka ay nag-aaral tungkol sa cultures and tradition ng isang katutubo, you also consider the potentials of your participants because they are the one who earn and learn. And for number 5, okay, avoid selection bias. So you as a researcher ng senior high school, kailangan kang maging fair. Huwag mong kontrolin yung data. Kung negative man yung impact, let it be. Kung positive, let it be. There are always advantage and a disadvantage of your paper. And always remember that novel research or you as a senior high school, ito yung starting point kung paano tayo magsulat ng may pakinabang sa community. At the end of the day, ang sampling procedure ko na ginamit ko may ambag pala sa aming community, sa school, o di naman kaya sa breadth of knowledge. And of course, we can learn that do not give after the first attempt to recruit a potential participant. Ano yung punto de vista dito sa part na to? Always consider to follow up using various communication strategies including your personal or written or electronic messaging. Like for example, sa messenger nyo ngayon. So, consider that baka mamaya, the importance of that personal contact should not be undervalued. Nilalagay natin sa appendices ito, yung number 6. Ayun, para sa pampito, allow flexibility in the process. So, ang result nito, minsan, nagkakaroon ng inadequate participants or modifications ng element sapagkat hindi natin minsan kinukonsider yung oras at saka fleksibilidad ng proseso ng pagsasagawa ng mga sample. Kung ayaw nila, huwag pilitin. Kung wala sa oras, huwag pilitin. At kung meron na silang go signal through letters, MOA, or MOU, punta ka na. Dahil for sure, okay na okay ang iyong sampling design, yes, at ang population na iyong magagawa. Okay? At dadako na tayo sa sampling procedures and sample para sa learning task 2. Ito na yung panghuli. Okay? Tignan natin. Para sa panuto, write P if the sentence talks about probability sampling. Otherwise, write NP for non-probability sampling. So, write your answers on your notebook or in your modules. At kung handa na, tignan natin ang unang katanungan. Ayan, handang-handa na sila. Para sa unang katanungan, ayun, interviewing some persons you meet on the campus. Is it P or NP? Okay, probability or non-probability. Okay, kung ang sagot nyo ay, ayun, non-probability, mahusay at magaling kayo. 2 thumbs up ang ibibigay ko sa inyo sapagkat ginagamit natin ang interview for some reasons, like for example, sa quota sampling na na-explain natin kanina under NP or the non-probability sampling, is it applicable? Sir, how about sa pagpunta namin doon sa campus, sa isang classroom, in-interview namin yung mga classmate namin kung sino yung may pinakamahilig sa gumamit ng pabango na to. Applicable ho ba, sir, ang paggamit ng purposive sampling? Yes, as long as you know your objective and your purpose in your paper. And for number 2, choosing subject behaving like the majority members. Okay, ang tamang sagot ay, ayun, ang gagaling. Mahusay kayo kung ang sagot nyo ay non-probability sampling or the NP. Okay? Ano yung mga posibleng gagamitin dito? You can also access pa rin yung non-probability sampling, like for example, yung purposive kanina, at higit sa lahat, yung pag-atake ng pagsusulat sa snowball sampling. Always remember that there's no best sampling procedure or sampling na ginagamit natin sa research. Even you're a graduate of master's, PhD, or undergraduate in college, we have the same thought of probability and non-probability sampling. So, napakahusay ninyong mga senior high school na ABM, STEM, UMS, GAS, TVL, ICT, at eSport. At kung nakuha ninyo, mahusay at magaling kayo. At para naman sa ating mga nakuhang module, kailangan natin i-acknowledge ito yung modules mula Masbate Division, Cagayan de Oro City or the CDO Module 2020, the Learning Activity Sheet of the Region 2, Esther Baraceros of Rex Bookstore 2016, John Wardagdag of ISU ROAS, and of course, the University of the Philippines Humanities Diliman. Always remember na kung hindi na alam ang kasagutan o problemado kayo sa mga ganap niyo sa buhay, hingin ang intervention kay Lord. Kung may mga issues naririnig dahil nahihirapan na kayo sa pagsusulat ng in your sampling procedure, kumuntusulat sa mga eksperto. Magtanong sa advisor ninyo o kung may mga alam kayo na nagpapanel sa mga research na o di kayo sa mga conference, tanungin. Huwag mahiyang magtanong dahil ang research ay buhay. Muli ako ang iyong abang lingkod, Tutor JJ Ramos. Huwag kalimutang mag-subscribe, gayon na din ang mag-like sa ating DepEd Facebook mula sa YouTube, sa DepEd Tayo, sa Facebook at higit sa lahat sa DepEd EdTech Philippines. Yun lamang po at magandang umaga at hapon sa inyong lahat. Mabuhay kayong mga mag-aaral.